everybody, it's Kenneth Ramon back in the Cruiser Bruiser. So I'm back with you this time with another movie review. I just got out of watching Space Jam: A New Legacy. It's the sequel to this classic right here. Was it as good? Well, let's talk about it. So you guys, in a nutshell,
this movie sucks!
So Space Jam: A New Legacy, it centers around LeBron James and his son, and they kind of get trapped into like this virtual world, okay, that's located within like the Warner Brothers Studios archives, okay, and it has like all the Warner Brothers characters and properties all centered in like this whole virtual system, right? And it's held by the villain named the Algorithm. Or Algorithm. I swear you can't make this stuff up, you guys. Okay, so this villain traps LeBron James and his son in there, basically because he's upset that LeBron James has no interest in like making a virtual character of himself for like a Warner Brothers movie. He's not with it. He just wants to stick to basketball, and that's kind of what he's teaching his son, just stick to basketball. But his son, on the other hand, has this passion for like online virtual design and things like that. Like he is like a technological nut, okay, and he really wants to go into computer design. But then LeBron James is not having it. He's like a very strict parent, and he just wants his son to pursue like the same career that he has pursued his life. He wants to kind of have that legacy moving forward through his son. He just doesn't have that same passion that LeBron James has for the game of basketball. And in order to escape from this matrix, so to speak, this virtual world, LeBron James has to win against Algorithm and his basketball team, the Goon Squad, in order to escape from this virtual setting.
You gotta win this game.
Let's end this.
Yes, LeBron! And get our son back.
It doesn't quite make sense, but neither does the premise from this movie. So let's just get into what I liked and what I didn't like about this movie. So one of the things that I feel makes the original Space Jam so near and dear to heart, so rewatchable, is the chemistry between Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes. And like I've been kind of describing so far, you guys, this movie really is centered around LeBron James and Algorithm. And it gets old really, really fast. It takes so long for the Looney Tunes to finally arrive. And when they finally do, I think it's like, I don't know, like nearly a half an hour or so into the movie, I was so bored. I was so tired already. I kid you not, the movie was getting good and I was falling asleep. And like LeBron says, like early on in this movie, he would much rather have a team that really gives him a fighting chance of getting out of this virtual world. Like he wants to recruit Superman, he wants to get King Kong, and then maybe that way he could win this game. But then he's limited to meeting Bugs Bunny, and Bugs Bunny suggests, no, we need to get the team together. We need to get the Looney Tunes. We need to get the Toon Squad. That's gonna help you win this game. And LeBron James is just not having it. He's like, oh, what? How's the Looney Tunes gonna help me? Like, he just, like, it just goes, like, way over his head. Like, he has, like, no clue about what happened with Michael Jordan. And the Looney Tunes don't even clue him in on what happened with Michael Jordan. It's like, this is like a whole separate movie on its own. And from there on, you guys, I could say you can't really compare it to this movie. This really is like a standalone movie. The only comparison that it has is, like, getting a basketball team with the Looney Tunes in order to defeat the villain and the opponents, the Goon Squad in this case. But really, you just can't compare it. The chemistry is just so dull here. And LeBron could care less. He just wants to get the heck out of here. He's like, come on, guys, let's get this game over with. I have places to go. I have a family, bills to pay. I need to get out of this, like, virtual setup. Like, he could care less about building that bond with the Looney Tunes. And that's my major beef right here. That's what makes this movie not as special as the Michael Jordan one. And it has nothing to do with my childhood. We all have childhood nostalgia, but there's just that lack of chemistry, you guys. And I feel that this lack of on-screen chemistry with the main cast is so prevalent here, you guys, that this movie is trying to distract us with all of these like cameos and references. And some of them are really funny. I won't lie, I laughed quite a bit. But it's like they're just trying to distract us from like the main purpose of this movie, just because it just doesn't work. The characters do not click, and they spend so much time on this Algae Rhythm character that nobody likes, okay? And props to Don Cheadle, he's an excellent actor, but his character here is just so unlikable. He gets all the screen time, and we're just sitting there just wanting a good Looney Tune movie, but the Looney Tunes are barely even in this movie. They barely have any dialogue. Bugs Bunny, okay, and this is always the case. Bugs Bunny is the head honcho of the Looney Tunes, so he gets the most lines here. But I tell you, as a fan of like the original Space Jam, Bob Bergen, who does the voice of Porky Pig and Tweety Bird, he's the only original from the original movie that came back for the sequel. And I don't remember any dialogue with Porky or Tweety Bird that comes to mind. And Bugs Bunny, when he does finally have a moment to speak, it is pretty awesome. I won't lie. Props to the writers, because the jokes really do land and they are super funny. And this Algae Rhythm guy keeps threatening the Looney Tunes, saying that they're going to be deleted if they don't win this basketball game. And as far as you guys already know, Pepe Le Pew's already been deleted, and Elmer Fudd's already been deleted. So just a few more Looney Tunes to go, right? I mean, the Looney Tunes might as well be special guests in this movie. This might as well be called the LeBron James movie. I mean, why is this called Space Jam? I have no idea. And I'm just thinking of the setting too, you guys. I mean, this movie is geared more towards children, right? So if we tell our kids that these characters are all fake, and they reside in this database that consists of made-up characters while we are in the real world here, I mean, I just don't think that's something good to tell our kids. I feel like this movie kind of lacks imagination there. And like with this movie right here, and I hate to compare it all the time, but with this movie, like the Looney Tunes have their own little world, their own little land. And, it's not in like someone's hard drive, I don't know, you guys. I just wasn't feeling it. It just feels very rushed, you guys. And then when it comes down to like the big climax, the big game that everybody's been waiting for, in the audience, they bring all these Warner Brothers characters and properties from the studios. And it kind of becomes so distracting. Like you're constantly looking in the crowd. You're not even focused on the game anymore. You're just looking to see who's in the crowd. You see Batman. You see Pennywise. There's King Kong right there. There's Scooby-Doo in the gang, and to a standpoint, it is quite interesting, okay? And I won't lie, I have to think, like, that must have been, like, a fun day on set where you just have, like, all these cosplayers together dressed up like these characters from Warner Brothers movies. I mean, that had to be a lot of fun. But when you're trying to, like, focus on the movie itself and trying to focus on the storyline, it just gets so distracting. But I will say, hats off to the guy who portrayed the Mask. Like, I was looking in the background, I'm like, wow, that guy has Jim Carrey down to a T. And also, like, the guy who was playing Mr. Freeze, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character from Batman and Robin. Pennywise. Pennywise is just so distracting. I feel like Pennywise has more on-screen time than the Looney Tunes in this movie, which is insane. Now, I didn't absolutely hate this movie, you guys. I mean, as you know, I'm a huge King Kong fan, so when I saw that King Kong had quite a bit of on-screen time and was very visible during the game, I was like, yes, this is awesome. And I also dug Sarah Silverman's appearance in this movie as well. I always loved her. She's a great comedian. And as well as the person who does the voice of Granny.
Granny's out here having a martini at halftime.
Haters gonna hate.
she did an outstanding job, because I know that Granny, the person who did the voice of Granny, hasn't been with us for quite some time, but whoever they found to fill those shoes did an outstanding job and was super hilarious. I will say Granny really shines in this movie. So that was like my favorite Looney Tune for this movie. Normally my favorite Looney Tune is Porky Pig, but he doesn't really say much in this movie, you know? Same thing with Tweety Bird. I didn't really hear anything. So, I mean, Bob Bergen, I love you, man, but I wish they gave you, like, some more work on this movie, man. But anyways, you guys, I absolutely love the ending. The ending was awesome. But I was like, wow, man, like everything in between just doesn't work. But this is an awesome ending. So ultimately, guys, I feel the problem with this movie is just that it lacks structure. But you know what? So does this movie. You know, and this is the movie I grew up with. And as long as kids enjoy this, really, that's all that matters. But hopefully they don't get too bored with all like the crazy dialogue between LeBron James and Algae Rhythm. I feel like this should be called the LeBron James and Algae Rhythm Show, or the LeBron James the movie, okay? That should be the name of this movie, because that's pretty much what it is. I don't know why this is Space Jam when, you know, the Looney Tunes have very little time in this movie. And when they do, there's all these distractions and cameos. I will say, if anybody's watching this video that was a cosplayer or an extra in this movie, please reach out. Let me know in the comment section, because that was awesome, you guys. I was visually entertained. But I will say, kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. And without spoiling it, there's this one scene where there's this crossover with Lola Bunny and a DC superhero. And it just works, man. I was so interested. It woke me up. I was falling asleep in the theater. But when I saw that, I was so hooked. And I want a standalone movie of just that. And I'm sorry, guys, I don't want to go into detail and get into spoiler territory. But let me just say, it was awesome! Hey everybody, before I get to my final rating on this movie, I just want to thank you all for watching my video. If you enjoy what you see so far, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I really do appreciate all the support. Thank you so much, you guys. Alrighty, you guys, so how will I rate this movie? Is this a movie that I feel like you need to go out and see right away, right now? Go out and see it. No. Is this a movie that I feel like all generations of Looney Tunes will enjoy? No. But do I feel like this is okay? This is a good time, you know, if you just want to get out of the house and watch a fun movie and turn your brain off for a while. Is it decent? Yeah. So anyways, you guys, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I give it a C. It's just alright. But, you know, if you just want to just get out of the house and unplug your brain from all that's going on in the world right now, I feel like this is a decent movie to do it. So I say go on and see it, you guys, because we've waited so long for this movie. Okay, it is Space Jam 2. And, you know, I did some research on this. Did you guys know that they tried to do Space Jam 2 called Race Jam with Jeff Gordon? And then they also tried to do one called Spy Jam with Jackie Chan, and they just fell through. I just didn't know that. That's super interesting. But anyways, you guys, just go in and watch this movie. But like I said, don't expect a masterpiece. A lot of people don't even consider this a masterpiece, but I say this is a good time. Go on and get the original if you haven't seen it. Show this movie to your kids, okay? So anyways, you guys, that's my rating. And thank you so much for watching my video. As always, I really do appreciate all the support. Thank you so much, you guys. Kenneth Ramon, signing off.